Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about what we do outside of the pool and how that can have a positive impact on what we do in the pool. This does cover quite a wide range of topics, from injury prevention, things we do outside of the pool which will prevent us potentially getting injuries in the pool, but also to certain activities that people do outside of the pool, whether it's yoga, certain stretches, other exercises, which they feel benefit them. It's very easy to get caught up in just swimming as many hours as you can in a week. But now more than ever, people are taking seriously what they do outside of the pool. And it's definitely showing to have more of an impact of the performances in the pool than what people perhaps believed in the past. To help us with this, I've asked several top swimmers how they best manage their bodies. I've also tried to get a wide spread of ages within this, because what a 16-year-old does to manage their body will probably be quite different to what one of the top 60-year-old swimmers in the world will do. So take a listen, and hopefully you'll be able to pick something up that will help you.
So one thing I wish I did more of when I was younger would definitely have to be yoga. I think it's really beneficial in improving your flexibility, which is important when you're swimming, especially for things like your dive. And I've come to learn that I am really inflexible and it is holding me back quite a bit. Again, especially on my dive, as I'm not able to get as much power as I should be able to out of my dive. So I'd say with all this spare time in quarantine, I would use it to your advantage rather than your disadvantage, and work on things you're probably not as good at. So if you've got bad flexibility like me, I'd say do a lot of yoga once a day or a couple of times a week, more than you usually would, so that when we're back in the pool, you can use it to help you. Pre-pool and post-pool, I think you need to spend a lot of time. It's quite easy to get carried away when you're doing your pre-pool because you're with all your friends and it's easy to just sit and chat. But it's really important to take it seriously and do it thoroughly in order to prevent an injury from happening.
So I would say the key things to furthering and maximizing the potential gains in your practice sessions are having a really athletic background. I found that worked really well in my case. I played baseball for a number of years, and I play basketball currently, and I'm doing other sports outside of the pool as well. I feel that it helps de-alienate certain exercises in the gym as well, also maximizing the gain from that. And there's a lot of crossover in a lot of the movements as well. And just practicing in basketball, for example, you're working a lot of different muscle groups that you might not be working in the pool that can actually help you out a lot. Another key thing would be staying limber during the off season. So whether that is just going for a run every second day or whatever during the summer, or hitting the gym or doing whatever just to stay active, so that there isn't such a big catch-up phase at the start of the next season. That's definitely a very big thing. And finally, something I'd say that I wish I'd focused on a little bit more was definitely stretching when I was younger, because it prolongs your career a lot, and I've noticed a lot more unexplained aches and pains because I didn't really stretch enough.
If I had to give one piece of advice with regards to keeping healthy and avoiding an injury, I would say loosen off before you swim and stretch afterwards. But you don't have to confine that to just around your swim sessions. So you could also do it at home. You could set aside several minutes of the day just to loosen off and stretch off, either every day or several times a week. Out with swimming, and that'll maybe just give you a bit of an edge.
I find I can't do more than 3 pool sessions a week, otherwise I risk shoulder injury, sore back and sometimes hip. So I find that I have to cross train in order to keep my training levels up. I also do land training. I tend to do at least a run a week. I also do gym sessions with weights, which I've been set by my coach and also strength and conditioning coach. I tend to up to a big meet sort of a couple of months in advance, heavier weights, and then maybe reduce them nearer the competition but still keep the reps up. My favourite, and I think has made such a difference to me, is a core workout. It's only half an hour, never miss it, every single week I do it. Sometimes I try and do 2 a week. It's made a massive difference to my swimming and how I feel in the water, and I feel also prevents me from getting too much back pain because my core has become so much stronger. So yes, that's me. I tend to try and do 6 sessions a week on either land or in the water, and give myself a rest day once a week.
So for me, back when I first started in Marlins, I definitely didn't do a lot of pre-pull. It definitely wasn't enough. But since I've upped my mileage with Hamilton, I definitely needed it, because during January and the end of December and halfway through half of Feb, I was injured with bicep tendonitis, and then ever since then I've actually been very serious with my injury prevention. I do a lot of work with bands, rollers, trigger point balls, and I do a lot of pre-pull. I always do 15 minutes of pre-pull, especially in the shoulders, because swimmers get a lot of injury shoulders. And then post-pull, roller, get the roller out, just roll out your back, roll out your muscles. Definitely helps with injury prevention, and looking after yourself at home is just as important as pre-pull and other ways of doing it.
I was just share some of my lessons learned about looking after yourself. So number one is looking after yourself while you're swimming, and that's you need to drink lots of water. I remember some of my, when I was doing that many meters, my Friday swim was usually about a 6-hour swim, close to 20 kilometers. And sometimes there'd be times out there I would lose some of my water bottles. Hard to keep track of 6 to 7 water bottles for a swim that long. The rubber bands holding them to the buoy would break. And I remember a couple times in the warm water in the hot sun, after a couple hours of swimming without a drink, I would just felt completely dead. Thought, that's it, I'm going to have to cut the swim short. But getting one of my bottles off the buoy and drinking that, and then suddenly I'd feel almost fresh again. So to me, that was the proof that the hydration actually really works. It might not be as bad for an hour and a half training session, but every little bit percent is going to help. The next thing is swim down. Even after a 6-hour swim, even after 2 hours of a distance workout in the pool, I always swam down. Even if you're not sprinting hard, you've got to swim down. I always swam down after my 6-hour ocean swims. Third thing is, when you get out of the water, you need to look after yourself. I know a lot of times you get out of the pool, I would get out of the ocean after that long swim, I would not feel hungry at all. I've been drinking my water during my swim, not hungry. You got to force yourself, because that's part of your recovery. That protein shake, some juice, a protein bar, you need to have something to replenish, because again, it's not about one session, is it? It's not just that you survive this session, you got a next one the next morning, the next afternoon, the next day, the rest of the week, the rest of the month. You got to look after yourself, not just today. It's a long-term process. You need to look after yourself. And then, of course, the last thing is sleep. It is so important, right? As swimmers, we get up early. We're doing a lot of hours of training. Sleep, that's how your body recovers, both physically and mentally. You need to make that extra effort to get to bed early, especially when you know you're going to get up. Even on the weekends, right? Even if you don't have early morning training, you need sleep. Right? This is what helped get me through. Remember, my demanding outlet swim was a little over 12 hours. And then my channel swim was 9.5 hours in 15-degree water with nothing but my budgie smuggler. That type of stuff, it's a long-term process, right? You need to stay healthy week after week after week. These are some of my tips that helped me help me keep up that type of training for almost 2 years to help me make those big swims. Best of luck. Look after yourself. Do the yoga. Do the weights. make yourself strong and healthy so you can stay healthy once you get back in the water. See you in the pool soon, Marlins.
Okay, so Stewie asked me to explain how, especially as an older swimmer, I look after my body. The most important thing I think for me is to listen to my own body. So I know when I need to train or when I need to rest, or even like when I need to eat or eat a little bit more. So I think the key thing is listen to your body. The next thing is absolutely stretching. I'll be cooking the dinner and I'll be in the kitchen, I'll be stretching. I stretch within my job as a PE teacher, so whenever the students stretch, I stretch. You know, they see me on the pool side, I'm stretching. Whenever I get a moment, I stretch. And lastly, cross training. As you get an older swimmer, you get used to swimming and your body gets used to it, so you need to do something different and for a bit of variety to prevent that tedium that people talk about. And for me, I started doing some running, some cycling, and started doing triathlons and aquathons, and that has supplemented my swimming and enabled me to go faster in the pool. But most importantly of all is to love yourself and love your sport. Okay.
You're the last one to leave it. It's not too late, we could stop all the dreaming. Get out this town, look around, we don't need it. Hell and heaven, they can wait for you. So go and do all the things that you want to do. So set me free, still a VS. Come on, pretty baby, take a chance on me. I said shame on me, cause I didn't see.
So I swam at Loughborough for 3 years, and there were times where maybe I couldn't swim to the same amount or I wasn't able to get in the pool because of an injury. So I've got 3 things that you might want to think about while you're not able to train as normal. So first thing is to try and make sure that you get the same amount of sleep as you normally would. So whether that's 8 or 9 hours, whatever your normal routine would be when you're training. I know you're not getting up at the same time, but try and get the same hours of sleep that you normally would. It just means that when you do finally get to go back and get in the pool, your body's still going to be used to getting that amount of sleep, and hopefully you'll be able to get into that routine of morning training even better, and it means that you're not going to spend time worrying about when you need to wake up. My tip number 2 is your diet. So it can be really tempting and easy, especially when you're not doing anything in the day, to snack lots and maybe eat a little bit unhealthier. Try and make sure that your diet is still full of lots of nutrients, so fruits and vegetables, make some smoothies, maybe look up some cooking recipes or something that will keep you busy, and you can learn something new as well. So diet is really important, and also makes you feel good as well if you're eating healthier. And finally, tip number 3, I would say try and make sure that you stay active and find something to do to keep fit. So I'm not training at the moment, or I don't train anymore, but I still like to keep fit and healthy, and I'm the same as you. I can't get out, I can't exercise, can't get in the pool. So there are so many things on YouTube, so many workouts, 20, 25 minutes, whatever it can be. Try and find some time in your day to dedicate to just doing something per day. It just means that when you do get in the pool, you're not going to have to worry about how, you've got to get your fitness back up to what it was. If you can just try and maintain some sort of consistency, you'll feel good, you'll feel better for it as well. To try and do something at home, and it'll give you something to do.
So, there you have it, guys. Hopefully you found that useful. It's interesting to hear what both masters and age group swimmers do outside of the pool, things which might help their performance in the pool. Hope you guys are keeping well. I've managed to purchase this little contraption myself, as I miss the pool so much. We're going a bit stir crazy, but I hope that you guys are keeping well. Keep up with the exercise, keep up with the runs, keep up with the skipping, keep up with the dry land, and if you have access to water in the form of a paddling pool, trust me, it feels amazing, and you'll be very excited to be back in the pool soon. See you later, guys. Miss you a lot, and send you lots of best wishes to get back in the pool, hopefully very, very soon. Bye, guys.